Everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to compare the German masked monster Markus Rühl and the reigning Arnold Classic champion Derek Lunsford. These two represent two very different eras of bodybuilding. Markus Rühl was a true masked monster from Germany, famous for his freakishly physique. He competed in 22 professional shows between 1998 and 2010, including 1 Arnold Classic and 8 Mr. Olympia appearances. Despite his jaw-dropping size, he never won the Olympia title, but he remains one of the most memorable masked monsters in the sport's history. On the other hand, Derek Lunsford is a modern bodybuilding champion. He made history by winning the 2023 Mr. Olympia and recently Arnold Classic title. So, let's break it down. This video is based on my personal opinion and experience. You can agree or disagree. Footage or video may be low quality or mismatched. I apologize for this in advance. I respect all the bodybuilders and my viewers, and I respect your opinion. Let's start the video. In the front double bicep pose, Markus Rühl had long, massive arms with a great shape. His chest was thick and his midsection was tight with clear abs. His quads were big and detailed, but they lacked the deep conditioning and separation that Derek has. Markus always brought crazy size and mass, making him one of the biggest bodybuilders of his time. On the other hand, Derek Lunsford has a more balanced and aesthetic physique. His midsection is tight and his abs are well defined. His biceps are not as massive or perfectly shaped as Markus's, but his lats flare wide, giving him a great V-taper. His legs are thick and powerful with insane conditioning and sharp details in his quads. Derek's tiny waist and balanced proportions give him the edge in this pose. His better shape, conditioning and posing make him the winner here. In the front lat spread, Markus Rühl looks like a true monster. His shoulders are massive, and when he spreads his lats, they explode outward like giant wings. His chest stays full and his arms look thick and powerful. Even with his crazy size, his midsection remains tight and his quads are huge and well separated. This pose is all about width and dominance, and Markus takes the win easily with his freakish mass and structure. Derek Lunsford also has an impressive front lat spread, but his version of the pose is more balanced and aesthetic rather than overwhelmingly massive. His lats flare beautifully, giving him a wide look, but his midsection is not as clearly defined and his chest doesn't pop out as much. His quads are thick and conditioned, but he simply can't match Markus's insane width and overall size in this pose. In the side chest pose, Derek Lunsford takes the win. His chest is full, round and perfectly shaped, giving him a classic bodybuilding look. His midsection stays tight, making his waist look smaller and improving the overall flow of his physique. His arms and shoulders are thick and his hamstrings show clear separation, adding more detail to the pose. Derek's conditioning and symmetry make this pose look clean and aesthetic. Markus Rühl, on the other hand, brings insane size and thickness, but his side chest pose isn't as polished as Derek's. His chest is big and dense, but his wider midsection makes the pose look blockier. His arms and shoulders are massive, but he lacks the balanced and aesthetic flow that Derek brings to the stage. In the back double biceps pose, Derek Lunsford takes a clear win. His back is packed with deep cuts, thick muscle, and a perfect V-taper. His biceps peak beautifully and his delts, traps, and lower back all flow together in perfect balance. His glutes and hamstrings are shredded, showcasing his superior conditioning. With a tight waist and flaring lats, his back looks even wider, creating a dominant X-frame. Markus Rühl, on the other hand, has a massive back, but it doesn't have the same level of detail and sharpness. His traps are thick and his lats spread wide, but his lower back and hamstrings lack the deep cuts that Derek displays. His arms are huge, but they don't have the same clean shape and separation. Markus relies on sheer size, but in this pose, Derek's definition, symmetry, and conditioning give him the clear edge. In the back lat spread, Derek Lunsford shines in one of his strongest poses. His lats flare out incredibly wide, creating a perfect V-taper. His traps, rear delts, and lower back are well defined, giving his back a thick and detailed look. The biggest difference here is conditioning. Derek's lower back, glutes, and hamstrings are shredded, showing clear muscle separation. His tight waist makes his back appear even wider, making him look dominant in this pose. Markus Rühl, on the other hand, has a massive back, but it's not as refined as Derek's. His lats are wide, but his lower back lacks the same level of detail. His size is impressive, but he doesn't have the deep muscle separation and sharp definition that Derek brings. Markus's hamstrings and glutes are also not as conditioned, which hurts his overall look in this pose. In the side tricep pose, Markus Rühl takes the win. His triceps are massive, thick, and deeply striated, making them the highlight of this pose. His shoulders and arms are huge, adding to the overall dominance of his upper body. While his midsection isn't as tight as Derek's, his sheer size and freaky tricep separation make this one of his strongest poses. His legs are also big and powerful, balancing out his upper body mass. Derek Lunsford has a more aesthetic shape and great conditioning, but his triceps don't have the same insane thickness as Markus. His midsection is tighter and his legs are well defined, but this pose is all about triceps mass and separation, an area where Markus clearly has the advantage. In the abs and thigh pose, Markus Rühl surprisingly takes the win. Even though he is known as a mass monster, his abs are deeply cut and well separated in this pose. His wide frame and massive quads make him look dominant. His thighs are huge and thick, adding to his powerful presence. Despite his size, his midsection remains tight and his abs pop out clearly, making this pose one of his underrated strengths. Derek Lunsford, on the other hand, seems to struggle in this pose. He has an aesthetic shape and great conditioning, but his waist appears slightly wider here, affecting his overall look. His quads are thick, but his abs aren't as sharp and his midsection isn't as clearly defined. In the end, Markus' combination of mass, deep muscle separation, and quad cuts gives him the edge. In the most muscular pose, Markus Rühl is the clear winner. This pose is all about size, thickness, and sheer freak factor, and Markus dominates completely. His chest is insanely full, his shoulders are massive, and his arms look gigantic. His quads are thick and deeply separated, making his stance even more powerful. When Markus hits this pose, he looks like an unstoppable mass monster, overwhelming his competition with sheer size and density. Derek Lunsford, on the other hand, brings aesthetic shape and sharp conditioning, but he struggles to match Markus in pure mass and muscle density. His most muscular pose still looks impressive with a tight waist and balanced proportions, but Markus's freaky thickness and jaw-dropping size give him a major advantage in this pose. And that wraps up our comparison between Markus Rühl and Derek Lunsford. Both of these bodybuilders are incredible in their own way, Markus with his insane mass and freak factor, and Derek with his aesthetics, conditioning, and balance. But who do you think wins this battle? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more bodybuilding comparisons and analysis. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.